let's get Harris LaChance in here because he's got a lift. And I've got to ask, Harris, straight away, man, I think I bench more than you. So, hey, bro, what do you bench?
Well, let's hear what you bench first.
225, 13 times.
225, 15 times?
13. I'm not 15 yet, 13 times.
13's pretty good. That's okay. That's a good start there. I just
agree.
barely got 22 this past off season, so 13's good. It's a good start. I think I did that my senior year of high school, so.
Yeah, like 8th grade, I was putting up like 225 10 times, so congratulations. Welcome to middle school, Mont. I get it. I totally get it. So are you a big fan of the weight room? Are you are you a back squat guy? Like, what do you actually like lifting?
I like benching. I like doing arms. I can squat. I can squat some, I don't know, I don't hate the weight room. I don't love it, but it's necessary. So I get in there and that's what we do. So.
Yeah. And by the way, I think what's interesting is, not to get way off the track here, but the body of an offensive lineman has changed significantly, probably over your career. I mean, obviously we've talked about your move inside to guard, but you have to be far more athletic than the traditional offensive lineman, because I think the game of college football has changed. So how much has your lifting regimen, how much has your conditioning regimen changed?
No, yeah. I think, especially at BYU, we the kind of offense we run, we have to have some really athletic offensive linemen. So ever since I've been here, we've always focused on nutrition and gaining good weight and not gaining bad weight, and being able to run fast and be strong and be flexible. Those things are crucial, especially at the next level as well. You're not going to see any kind of big crappy bodies out there. So you got to take care of yourself really well.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt about it. Talking to Harris LaChance, BYU football offensive lineman, thanks to our friends at Coug Connect and Papa Murphy's Pizza. Harris, obviously, this was a tough weekend for you guys. The trip to Oregon was difficult in a lot of different ways. Going back to that game, how did the tape look? How did you grade out? Like, what are your thoughts now reminiscing on the Oregon game?
Thoughts now are, could have played better. Could have played better, should have played better. But there's lots to learn from, and there's a lot of things that we could have done better. And it's like, well, now we have to move on to the next. It's Wednesday, so we've already moved on and are getting excited and prepared for Wyoming. So that was a tough game, but we got to learn from it.
How much of a test is that for you guys, though? I mean, obviously, when you look at that kind of game with all of that hype, and you guys were clearly jacked going into that game. I mean, how tough is that when you go into a situation like that and you don't play as well as you wanted to? I would imagine, we talk a lot about, we use words like character and heart, but I would imagine this is a test of your will. This is a test of your character as a football team when you go into an environment like that and you don't meet your goals or achieve the things that you wanted to achieve.
Yeah, no, it is. And that's like what I was saying, you're going to have some bad losses. You're going to lose some. So you have to learn from it. You have to be able to be honest with yourself and say, hey, I didn't play my best here. But how can I be better, and how can I prevent that from happening next time? And that's all you can do. And it's tough. It is. But like I said, in weeks before too, you have to stay steady. No crazy lows and no crazy highs. We have to stay on that track.
To your credit.
Keep moving.
Yeah, to your credit, you've talked about that a lot as we visit with Harris LaChance on the Monty Show, presented by Papa Murphy's Pizza. Let me ask you about the run game, because a lot of people have talked about this. Are you guys running the football effectively, and what do you see that you guys can do better to be more effective running the ball?
Yeah, no, we haven't been running the ball very well lately, and it shows. We've got to get some good D linemen, but at the same time, we need to be able to get more movement up front and to run off the ball harder and fix our landmarks a little bit. And that's something we've been working on this week of practice already, and we're trying to get that back and get that tightened up here. And so, yeah.
Well, to my eyes anyway, and I'm not in the room with you guys, but it seems like, to my eyes, you guys were on your blocks. Is it more of a thing that you are Are you not moving your opponent well enough? Are you guys not holding up well enough at the point of attack? What as offensive linemen can you do better to be more effective in the run game?
Yeah, well, as you know, an offensive line unit, there's 5 guys, so we all have to be on the same page. We all have to be moving our guy together. You know, if one guy misses his block, then it can screw up the whole play. And I felt like a lot of those times it was like that. One guy would mess up here, and it's tough when you're not all on the same page and not all together. So that's what we're doing.
Well, that is very, again, I say that you should run for office at some point in your life because that is a very polished answer, Harris LaChance. So well done there, my man. But as you guys come out of that game and now you look forward to Wyoming, it is that performance motivating for you guys? Because, you know, you hear a lot of people say, well, man, I wouldn't want to be Wyoming this week. But I mean, that's an opponent you have to respect. But how much fire, how much fuel comes out of the Oregon game as you guys look forward to Wyoming?
Oh, I think for me personally, a lot, and for a lot of us, man, we got something to prove, and we got to, like I said, too, stay back on our track. We know we're a good team. We know what we're capable of. We know that we didn't, reach that bar this last Saturday, so it's like time to amp it back up, baby. We got to get right back on track here, boys. So we're excited. We got to respect this opponent. Wyoming's good, man. They're 3-1, and I'm excited to play them. It should be a good game.
Yeah, I would imagine that you're looking forward to getting back on the field because this cannot be a fun week for you guys. And I mean, I obviously, playing football is a great way to, to live your life. But when you lose that kind of game, this week cannot be fun for you guys. You must be ready to strap it up and get out there.
Yeah, we're excited to get to work. It is fun though. It's not, we try. We're a culture of love and learning, man. So we got to stay positive here. Learn from our mistakes, but we can still have fun. We can still laugh, and we know we did wrong, but that's okay. We can get better. You know what I mean? So we're having fun still.
Yeah, and obviously the news came out last night that Dallin Hulker is transferring. How does that happen in your football team? Like, do you guys talk about those situations? And one of the other things that I think is so interesting is you guys have seen some really one-off odd opportunities this year, challenge-wise, whether it was the Duke conversation, all of the noise around this Oregon game. Now you have this situation where you have a teammate that's decided to leave. How do you guys deal with that situation?
We heard about it, yesterday. It was kind of weird, but we're just kind of like, well, that's his own personal decision, and got to respect that. And the thing is it's like this one guy, and we can win with or without him. So that's cold hard facts, and that's the truth. And we love him, wish him well. But it's like it's kind of random, I think personally. But whatever, got to move on, I guess.
And I think you and I have talked about the business of college football in the past.
Yeah,
it's changed. This is the business of college football. Are you somebody that likes the business of college football? Are you somebody that you have no choice to embrace it, but is this just part of doing business in today's college football world?
Yeah, I think it is, especially because the transfer portal and everything. It's forced a lot of kids to grow up and realize that it is kind of more business sided now, and you have to kind of not be selfish, but look out for yourself a little bit more than in the past, especially with like NIL deals and all this sort of crap, man. It's crazy, and it's hard to navigate for a lot of young kids, and that's understandable, and you have to understand that and realize you're right. This is a business, and you got to love the game though first, but yeah, you also have to do that. Take care of yourself.
And the last thing I'll ask you about this is the reality of being a football player. And, I think one of the hard parts is when you're getting critiqued, and I would imagine the feedback you guys get from coaches, and heck yeah, loving and learning and supporting, I totally understand that. But to win at a high level and to meet the expectation that BYU football has, I mean, there's got to be some tough conversations involved in performance on the field.
Oh yeah, there's it's constructive criticism. It's getting better. It's everybody has to be coachable, and everybody has to have thick skin when you need it, and to be able to take that constructive criticism and be positive about it and learn how to change and be better.
And frankly, does that not define your character? I mean, because it's easy to fold in this life, right? But the hard thing to do, I think, is to stand up and say, yeah, you know what? Maybe I didn't hold that block well enough. Maybe I wasn't in the right place. I think that really is a character defining moment when you're getting that kind of feedback from a coach. I mean, that's going to determine who you are.
Oh, totally. Totally.
Yeah. Well, hey, go lift your weights, man. I'll get mine up today as well. I'll do the workout. I'll be in better shape. But hey, stay healthy, man. I really appreciate you joining us every week on the show, and best of luck against Wyoming.
For sure. Appreciate it, Monty. There
you go, buddy. That's Harris LaChance. Thanks to our good friends at Papa Murphy's Pizza. Boy, he did not mince words on Dallin Hulker. Are you surprised by that?
Yeah, the first thing I'll say is Harris LaChance does a damn good job of sending a message without without saying it 100%. I give him a lot of credit for that. I think, I think that Harris, he said, hey, it was pretty random. Like that's something that that we had to deal with as a team, and I have to say, I think that that is a proper way to describe it. I feel like I agree. He didn't really mince words on it. I'm not trying to blow it out of proportion, but it is. I have to imagine that when as we said earlier, it comes out at 11 o'clock at night. Like it's not. You can go digging and ask questions when when a guy like a guy of Harris's quality and character joins the show. You could ask him about like, hey, when did this happen or that happen? But the fact is, it doesn't really matter. It came out at 11 o'clock at night. And it didn't happen at a great time after you lost to Oregon. And so, it does feel random. It does feel sort of, I have to imagine, sort of jarring, because, Harris is probably, not probably, he has lined up next to Dallin. And I think that, Harris is obviously a key part of this offense. So, I'm always impressed with Harris's ability to say what he wants to say, but say it in a way where he's not lighting someone up. That's always impressed me.
Yeah, Harris is great, and he's presented by Papa Murphy's Pizza.
No one goes all in on made-from-scratch freshness like Papa Murphy's. We go all in on quality, all in on craft. And on the Triple Pep Pizza, we go all in on pepperoni. Because when you go all in, people notice. Go all in with a limited-time Triple Pep Pizza, topped with 3 types of pepperoni for just $11.99. Papa Murphy's. Change the way you pizza.